Hello classy people, this is Josh the Top Hat Gamer, and this week I'm reviewing Overwatch. I used to really enjoy competitive multiplayer in games, specifically first-person shooters. For whatever reason, multiplayer has become less appealing in recent years, unfortunately coinciding with the trend of multiplayer-only AAA releases such as Titanfall, Star Wars Battlefront, or even Evolve. So how does Overwatch go about standing out from the crowd? And is its multiplayer offerings worth the cost of entry? Let's check it out. Overwatch, as a multiplayer-focused game, doesn't really have much of a plot going on. The world has fallen into chaos, prompting the return of the titular International Task Force, and that's really all the game gives us to go off. While the game is light on plot, it provides plenty of details and subtle references to the greater world of Overwatch, so players can infer quite a bit of information about the lore, much in the same way you could with, say, Dark Souls. With that said, I feel the game could have provided a little more concrete information, be it through cinematics, character bios, or what have you. I shouldn't have to go to the internet and look up plot details to get the most out of your story. As I mentioned, a lot of the game's lore is conveyed through subtle details, including character and level design choices. The characters on offer are refreshingly varied, presenting us with heroes of many diverse characteristics such as multiple body types, ethnicities, or even disabilities. On top of the variety on offer, each character design is immediately recognizable, and I can't say I've seen one that didn't appeal to me. From the Mad Max-inspired Roadhog and Junkrat to the robotic monk known as Zenyatta, Overwatch's cast of heroes is certainly not lacking in character, and they all look like they belong thanks to the game's vibrant, cartoonish style. The levels on offer are almost as memorable as the cast of characters, partly due to their multi-path, multi-layered designs, but also because of the limited selection of maps available at time of writing. Despite the amount of maps on offer, I do find that their visual designs are unique enough to keep me interested, no matter how many times I play them. And the fact that they offer multiple paths to get where you need to go in any given match keeps me from just repeating the same game plan over and over again. I'm not saying Overwatch doesn't need more maps, because it sorely does, but the ones on offer are certainly solid if nothing else. And to be honest, it's a similar story on the gameplay side of things too. Overwatch offers objective-based gameplay that relies on good teamwork and balanced team structure. The varied cast of characters that I just can't stop talking about are just as unique in playstyle as they are in design, and having a good mix of heroes on your team will increase your odds at coming out on top. There are classes and roles to suit anyone's playstyle, from offensive heroes who excel at flanking enemy defenses to wreak havoc, to the high damage defense class heroes who work best when holding a single point. If you're less of a direct combatant, Overwatch has you covered, with tank and support heroes who work best when aiding their teammates with solid protection and team buffs respectively. The way Overwatch's classes work isn't overly new or special, but the balance between strengths and weaknesses for each character, as well as the sheer variety of unique skills across the roster, makes for some interesting team combinations, and gives the game a satisfying tactical aspect. At the same time, Overwatch is rather friendly to newcomers who haven't quite wrapped their head around making a balanced team. The hero select screen helpfully suggests the most useful options once a team is about half full, giving players who are unfamiliar with the heroes or their roles a bit of guidance. It also helps that the game modes are pretty basic, yet incredibly entertaining. Your standard modes include payload and point capture, though the two modes are sometimes combined on certain maps. Payload requires one team to move the objective along a predetermined path to the end goal, while the other team tries to stop it. Point capture, however, can work in one of two ways. Either both teams are trying to capture the same point at once, or one team is trying to capture the point from a defending team from the outset. As I said, these are simple but very fun game modes, especially when both teams are inching closer to a victory, pushing the game into overtime. Once the clock hits 0, if the objective is still being contested, the game will continue until there is a definitive winner, making for some of the most intense multiplayer action I've ever encountered. Overwatch is not without some faults, however, and as fun as the core gameplay is, there are a few things that leave me a bit concerned. One such concern is that while the heroes are fairly well balanced, there are some team combinations that will absolutely destroy opposing teams. Most of these rely on doubling up on certain heroes, which I honestly think is a problem that shouldn't occur. Sure, every hero has a hard counter in another hero, but once you're doubling up, that balance seems to go out the window, and though it is possible to counter these situations, it just isn't fun. The situation regarding unlocking the game's cosmetic items is also not particularly fun. The game features quite a few excellent alternate skins as well as some cool animations and other cosmetic items, but unlocking them is left to chance as you unlock random loot boxes on every level up. The random nature of the loot box system is a clear method of pushing players towards using microtransactions, which, seeing as the game is a full-price retail release, feels a bit gross to be honest. What makes it worse is that Overwatch's microtransactions don't allow you to buy in-game currency so you can unlock the specific items you want, but instead gifts you with more random loot boxes, so you're essentially gambling. There's not even a way to consistently gain the in-game currency either, so if you're looking to acquire a special skin, you better be feeling lucky. Fortunately, the game's loot boxes aren't the only form of reward you'll run into. If you're playing well and benefiting your team, you'll occasionally be rewarded with the Play of the Game showcase, and while this doesn't gift you with material rewards, it's a satisfying bragging point to see yourself tearing up the opponent at the end of the game. And even if you don't quite nab the Play of the Game, Overwatch is kind enough to record your best highlights from the games you've participated in. The system needs a little more work so that it's not just players popping their super moves at the right time or racking up kills, but as it stands, it's a very neat feature. Weird reward systems and ongoing balance fixes aside, Overwatch is a damn good time. If you're simply here for the gameplay, Overwatch gives players a great variety of characters and playstyles to experiment and excel with. And despite its limited game modes and maps, I'm not even close to being tired of this game. Overwatch gets the Top Hat Gamer rating of excellent. I'm still grossed out by the whole cosmetic unlocks thing, but looking beyond that, Overwatch is a fantastically fun game that exhibits a great deal of variety with regards to playstyle, as well as some solid tactical gameplay in terms of team building and balancing. If you've enjoyed games like Team Fortress 2 in the past, or if you're just looking for a fast, team-based objective game, then Overwatch is for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the review informative. If you missed last week's review of TMNT Mutants in Manhattan, click the annotation. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to go hook more players.